Well, it struck me that the Technology-Enabled Care Programme was particularly focused on finding solutions for people with problems that technology could help. And in particular, I was particularly interested because they were rigorous in their demand for evaluating that these interventions worked well. The tech-funded programme that I'm involved in is looking at high blood pressure. Every year in Scotland, 1.2 million appointments are taken up by people who are going to see their doctor or nurse for nothing else but to have their blood pressure checked. There are many more appointments taken up by people who are having blood pressures checked as part of another consultation. But what we do know is that blood pressure, if taken at home by the patient themselves, is a great deal more predictive of outcome than those taken in the general practitioner's office. And in particular, we know that some people get upset when they come along to the doctor, and this overcomes this problem. So the question is, why do we carry on doing it the way we've been doing up until now? The other thing that we know is that when we treat blood pressure by telehealth, that people do much better with this. Blood pressure is much better controlled. However, the studies that have been done in this in the past have been with relatively small numbers. And we don't know how willing GPs and nurses would be to do this at scale with a large number of patients. And so we've been funded to recruit 25 practices in Lothian, each of whom are going to recruit 100 patients, so 2,500 patients in total, to see whether we can manage blood pressure in the same sort of way. The system is very, very simple. Patients will measure their own blood pressure at home and they'll text it to the general practitioner or nurse. It's stored on a server, and every so often, depending on how well the patient is controlled, the doctor or nurse is sent a report which outlines their blood pressure with a clear exhortation as to whether the treatment needs to be changed or whether everything's going fine. We're very hopeful that this will improve care for patients and also make life a lot easier for them, in as much as they will no longer have to go and see their doctor or nurse. The best thing I think about the tech programme has been working with different groups in order to bring this about. We've had tremendous enthusiasm from NHS, IT, from Living It Up, from the universities, but particularly from the doctors and nurses on the ground who are extremely enthusiastic about it. This has been the best group I've ever worked with in my research career. I think that the programme will benefit the patients that we're serving in our communities by, first of all, improving their blood pressure control. Secondly, it'll mean that they have to spend less time going to and fro from their doctors. But importantly, this will free up time for doctors and nurses so that they can spend time with patients who actually need hands-on treatment from them. I would say that the tech programme really understands how difficult it is to implement technology at scale. They are realistic about the way they support people, very flexible in the way that they do that. And I would certainly say that if you have a good idea that you think you might want to get off the ground, that these are the people to approach to help you with it. Well, I hope that this funding stream will continue. There are so many people out there with good ideas, and the Tech Fund is the way to get these put into practice.